Hello, fabulous Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the year of 2016, looking at love and life and love. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. This year, really, in many ways, and for much of the time, it's almost like this slow preparation to a takeoff that you feel is imminent, a big shift that you feel is imminent. You're right about that, and that's mainly because Jupiter will enter your sign once we get to the fall. In fact, just a few days or right around the equinox, the fall equinox, Jupiter will enter your sign and the energy will shift in powerful ways. Your focus, your attitude, your vitality, your look even is going to go through a transformation very much to your liking, but also very much to the surprise of a lot of the people around you. But that doesn't mean there isn't still a lot happening between the start of the year and the fall equinox. There's still a lot happening in the first 9 months of the year. And part of the more important lessons and part of the more important occurrences are taking place are thanks to a conversation happening between Saturn and Neptune. And this particular conversation is asking you to consider your relationship with your siblings. Where is it a healthy relationship? Where is it not? Where is it that you want something else? Where is it that you believe your work is or may not be? So for some of you out there, I look at this, some people spend a lot of time with their siblings, right? Like I think about my mom. She hangs out with my aunts, her sisters, all the time. They're like part of each other's lives in a very regular way. They interact with each other every day. They see each other several times a week. They're very integrated into each other's life experience and support each other in many ways as well. So that is a different dynamic than, say, some other relationships out there. Sometimes siblings live in different cities. Maybe you see your sibling once, maybe twice a year, if that. And you chat on Facebook once in a while, you send them a message, you post something on their wall, and it's all good, it's all well, but it's not necessarily a relationship that has that daily quality to it. Other sibling relationships are somewhere in between. It's not that necessarily this person is so integrated into your life, but you see them under certain circumstances. And where it is that, and particularly with this conversation between Saturn and Neptune, if you have in any way been feeling like or wondering if there's been any enabling going on, okay, especially on their part, but if they feel it towards you or you feel it towards them, this is going to be a time when it becomes known, where it becomes obvious. So if there is anything that your sibling has been doing, an activity, an action, a way of being, a way of communicating with you, that you are realizing doesn't really work for you, isn't how you want things to continue, this is going to be a time that asks you to work on that relationship. If your sibling would say that about you, then this also would be a time when you have to decide if you're going to work on that relationship or not. A very small percentage out there, okay, might have to deal with more serious issues. And ultimately what this type of conversation says to me, understand where it is that you're practicing tough love and understand where it is that that's not what you're doing, that you're holding on to something, you're holding on to a grudge or a resentment. So if that is the case, and that again is going to be a small percentage of Libras out there, that's going to be part of your sacred learning. That's going to be part of the work that needs to be done between the two of you. For others of you out there where you don't have siblings, you might find yourself a little surprised manifesting these lessons with cousins or neighbors. So it might be these very people who you find that relationship going through a shift. And it may very well be that a neighbor leaves, somebody that you really like might leave, or that the dynamic changes in an important way that might lead to a sense of change, maybe even a sense of loss a little bit as well, as that friendship goes in different directions. And yet you can know that there is some wisdom playing out there for you. Also with this conversation, I would say be mindful of what you say at work, okay? That's the main thing I want to say with that conversation. Be mindful of what you say at work, of the language that you're using, of how your communication is coming off, because it's going to feel a little bit like, and especially in the workplace, it's almost like I'm seeing, it will, in all honesty, feel like a constant Mercury retrograde for most of this year, for like the first 9 months of the year. There's like this feeling, is Mercury retrograde? Didn't Mercury just finish retrograde? Like that's going to be the type of thing where you're saying one thing and you're trying to communicate one thing and the other person understands it in a whole other way. People have their own reasons for doing what they do, and you might ask somebody to do something and they end up doing it in a different way. There might be some complex psychological stuff going on there that you don't necessarily understand on the surface, but this will help you to move in a more deeper understanding of other people, why they do what they do, what it is ultimately that motivates people in a deeper and more meaningful way. Where it comes to love, I do think that it is going to be, again, later in the year, we have, once we have Jupiter in your sign, I mean, really, the world, it opens to you. A whole new you starts to emerge. But before then, and especially in the context of love, chances are very possible that you might see things in yourself that you don't like so much, okay? And this is especially true whether you're in an established bond or you're getting to know someone new or you're open to meeting new people. This is where the universe wants you to see parts of yourself that you really want to change, that you want to let go, that you don't want to carry into your future. So sometimes under this energy, some people can become a little suspicious, a little obsessive, a little compulsive, a little, you know, really getting very wrapped up in somebody who ultimately it's not about them, it's really about you and your reflection and your learning, and you will be brought back to yourself again and again and again. Because it is about you seeing something about what your expectations are in love, what you're willing to do for love, what love is for you, what love maybe isn't for you, and yet knowing that there is love in the world for you. Having a greater sensitivity to deepen the connection that you already have is going to be part of this process. But where it is that you've been hanging on to a situation that in some way you feel undermines you, this is going to be when you start to admit it to yourself. Ultimately, as I said, this year, the first part of the year, is about clearing the past and setting the stage for big breakthroughs that are set to take place for you once we get you into the fall and towards the end of the year and into 2017 as well. Also, with love at the very end of 2016 and into 2017, we've got a series of supremely harmonious conversations taking place between Uranus in your opposite sign and Saturn as well. I'll be here to talk about it next year, of course, but that to me does suggest big changes, big breakthroughs, big progress in the context of love and connections, commitments taking place, turnarounds taking place very quickly and that feel just right and that have the real potential to last as well. Use this time well. Use this time well to understand that it isn't always about what you say, it's also about how other people are receiving it, and you do your best from your side of it while surrendering the rest, knowing that they are going to see things from their perspective and what it is that they need. Also, this year, what I love about this year for you is that you're coming to a deeper understanding of who your people are, right? Like who's with you, who it is that is around you, who it is that is close to you, who it is that you can talk to, and where it is that those conversations are healthy and empowering, and where it is that maybe not so much. Where it is that now you're ready to be spoken to and talk about different things, you're ready to make a shift in your spirituality, so you're seeing things differently, and where it is that you can continue to affirm some very strong love available to you from many sources, platonic, romantic, and otherwise. A lot of the big changes that are going to take place are going to go to the heart of you, are going to go to the core of you. It'll still be a busy year, but the big takeoff and a new you emerges, undeniably emerges, as we move closer and closer to the end of the year. A new you that I believe you will love discovering, and you will love once that discovery is complete.